Hello, everyone. The Seoul Dynasty have made a new signing that they've just announced. Slime, the main support player who was released from the Vancouver Titans, has just been picked up as the newest addition for the Dynasty. Now, this is obviously an exciting pickup for them as they've been a team that has struggled to find their footing at times. The question is this the pickup that they need to make them the better team that they need to be? And if so, how much better does it really make them? Let's go to you, Beatdown Boulevard. Let's take a look. What do you think? Is they going to be a better team? How much better?
I think it's without a doubt. I think a crazy person would say that picking up Slime and replacing Toby with Slime is going to make you anything but a better team. I think this is great for Seoul. This is a step in the right direction. Do I think Seoul is suddenly a top 5 team? I absolutely do not. A lot of problems Seoul have had as of late, or just this season, maybe even just in franchise history as a whole. It's like, yeah, they have they have solid roster, always expected to do well, but when it comes to those big performances, those big matches, they can't quite seem to deliver. And this season, even though you pick up Profit, you pick up Jester, both top players, you still face these same issues. Slime is good, but in one of their recent games, you can see how disjointed this squad is, how lost they seem, not really able to work together outside of double shield meta, which is whenever that's meta, that seems to be the only time they can succeed these days. Usually what would fix that is a great main support, I agree, but it's also a great main support who is vocal, an in-game leader type. Like a Cruz, if you will. We were talking about him off screen. That's the kind of leadership. Yeah, he's a really good in-game lead for your team. From what we understand publicly of Slime is not that person. Even when he was on the Vancouver Titans, Bumper seemed to be that individual last season. Not really sure how things were going for them this season, but what I do know, Slime isn't really that guy. So although this is a boon for Seoul, this isn't Seoul stonks. You know what I mean? Like, they still have work to do.
What do you think, Spencer?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's sort of like, I look at this from last week where this was a big discussion amongst the league because Seoul had just lost 9 maps in a row, and it was sort of, are still a top 5 team. So there's a couple things to look at. One, Seoul Dynasty had still done really well earlier on the year. And well, I think if you had asked this question a week ago, you might have gotten a different answer out of me. I think since that last week, what they have done is 3-2 the Shanghai Dragons, who a lot of people consider to be one of the, if not the best team in the league. And then also replaced their main support, Toby, who was, I like Toby, and I don't think he was the problem on the team, but he definitely wasn't the solution. So you replace Toby, which was the weakness, if not one of the weaknesses. They might still need an off tank with arguably, I wouldn't even say arguably, I would just say a top 5 main support in the league. So while I do agree that this team definitely looks best in the double shield meta, and this doesn't necessarily all of a sudden solve that, they did show that they were very capable in the dive against the Shanghai Dragons. Although they did win most of the double shield, they also won some dive mirror matchups. So really all that's left is to fix that rush and poke compositions that they would run. And even though Slime isn't an in-game leader and necessarily a big shot caller, he definitely, I think, really would help a team become a much better rush composition for sure. I think whenever you replace a weakness on your team with a person who is top 5 in that role, you're going to see significant improvements, as well as the fact that even like I said, like last week, they might not have been top 5, but they're in that top 8 discussion. So I think only adding a player like Slime bumps you up a couple of slots. And if they're not top 5, then who is? Right? It's like, who is your 5th team that you're going to put ahead of them?
Sorry,
and in which case, once you answer that question, like then we can have that debate. But if they're not top 5, then I don't really know who is.
Is that rhetorical, or do you want me to?
You can answer it. I mean, we could have this debate.
Right okay,
now.
All right.
Like,
okay, no, I got you. Okay,
the 5 then.
Yeah. All right, so Shanghai, Philadelphia,
yeah.
New York, yes. I'm not sure if I would put them necessarily at 3. I think the first 2 are where they are, but we'll say Shock 3. I'll say New York 4. I honestly think people are sleeping on Guangzhou.
I agree.
I actually think Guangzhou are absolutely nuts. Although I think people have overrated Atlanta, I think they exist in a similar bubble as Seoul does. Yeah, they seem more comfortable on double shield more than anything else. But if we're just looking at season performances and peaks this season, I put Atlanta over Seoul. So I think that's 6 right there.
I see. I kind of was agreeing with you until once you said that if we put teams based on their peaks this season, I don't see a world in which you don't put Seoul number one. I think when Seoul has looked their peak, they're the best team in the league. The Charge are probably your most interesting case because of the fact that they actually did just beat the New York Excelsior 3-2. I think that lineup looks really good on paper. I think there's a bit of concerning with Nero in terms of his visa issues.
Yeah, but they got Eileen. People forget about Eileen. He's crazy.
Eileen is
Come
great.
on, Eileen.
Eileen and Happy are not as sexy, if you will, as Happy and Nero. Nero's been one of the best players on that roster.
Yeah.
I think Seoul Dynasty you could have had that Charge versus Dynasty debate last week, and it would still be a debate. And then now all we've done since then is replace Toby with Slime, and I think that gives them the edge.
That's an interesting perspective.
I don't think Atlanta's even in the conversation of those two teams.
Wow.
I actually
Eternal are better than Atlanta. I think you could even argue like,
oh, you know what? That's fine. I think I could comfortably say Eternal might be better than Seoul right now. Especially they've been playing so well without XC, and XC is actually supposed to come back toward the end. No, they've been actually quite good. Especially both times.
Florida Mayhem. It was like last week the Florida Mayhem beat them.
Yeah, but Florida is a better team than people are giving credit for. And the other thing too is that they play. Yeah, but no, that's not true. Every time they play Philly, they go to map 5. First of all, second,
first 2 games were them getting obliterated by Philly.
No, that's not. I'm gonna go back and check that out because I'm gonna go back and watch that.
First 2 maps.
No, but it doesn't matter. But they brought it back and they actually made it competitive. They make it a good series, and that shows grit. That shows. Well, discipline out of teams. A lot of teams just lose 2 maps and get boomed, and then we get our what we call 3 Overwatch or 3 Watch doesn't work. No, I see where you're getting at here, but at the end of the day, they're a good team without XE. I want you to think about that for a second. XE is supposed to come back at the end of the month. You know who else is coming soon? Sparkle. Say his name. That's right. Sparkle, the Wiz Kid. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, fine. You're right. But I just want you to realize this roster strength without those 2 players.
Gets there, but he's not there, so they're not a top 5 team.
Nah.
When he gets
I think I know not top 5, but still better than Seoul. No,
better than Atlanta.
Nope. Yeah, they're better than Atlanta. I'll give you that, but they're better than Seoul too.
Okay.
Well, I think we can all agree that they're definitely a better team than they were last week with the addition of Slime. Maybe they still have a couple pieces left to make them the team that's really the contender that I know that they want to be. Seoul Dynasty is like unabashedly a team that has a lot of pride in the team that they're trying to run, and they've come in every season really with the ambition of winning the league. So I don't think that they're going to rest on what they've done here with their signings and feel like that's good enough. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some further signings or some future mix-ups with this roster. But for the time being, it's exciting to see what Slime's going to do and how he's going to change that roster.
All right, okay, out there. I was going to say my final point is if this team can figure out their off-tank situation and Michelle can regain form, we're not even having a discussion. This is a top 5 team. This might be the best team in the league if they can figure out their off-tank situation.
Oh, man, I love me some Michelle, but that's a little too spicy for me, Spencer.
Slime, baby. Slime.
Slime time.
Thanks for watching Meta Mentality. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on social media. Find out where to follow us in the links below.